What is up, Chump fam? So today I am going to be doing a sit-down talk because I've gotten a lot of requests to do some more sit-down talks. I haven't done some for a while, been doing more of a vlogging kind of thing. So basically the topic today is what is worse, to fail or to not try? And so I really want to talk about it and emphasize it. For me, in my opinion, other people may have their own opinions on this. This isn't everyone's opinion. To never try is much worse to never fail. Now, I think this simply because we learn from our mistakes as we go throughout life and we figure out what works, what doesn't, and to really understand what success is, you have to figure out what it is to fail. And oftentimes, like, we're scared to fail and we have this fear of failure and failure this, and we freak out a lot. And a lot of times we don't see until we're like later on in the future and see how those failures can get us to success. Like, for example, Michael Jordan, for example. He failed many times. He was cut from his high school basketball team, as everybody knows, but he had to get to those failures to find that motivation to get where he needed to be today. You gotta fail to find success. Another example, that is Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs got fired from his own company that he made, but he decided that he would never give up and he would keep trying. Now, so this comes back to the question, which is worse, failing or never trying? We all make mistakes, right? Thomas Edison, thousands and thousands of times he had to practice to create the light bulb, and he failed over and over and over and over again. And yet with these misfortunes and with these failures, he learned something every single time. And he learned that, like, with these failures comes learning, and with these mistakes you can get better at what you want to do and what you want to be in life. And you know, with failures comes success. You look at tons of famous people. I know I gave a few examples already, but tons of them all came from failure. And with that failure, you got to take it and you use it and you turn it around. And when you turn that failure around and turn it into motivation, that's when you can start to see yourself and envision yourself doing what you want to do and being what you want to be. For me, I have failed at a lot of things. I look back at my high school days and I've failed in so many places. Like, when it comes to, you know, sports, I make a mistake. When it comes to grades, I've made mistakes. But with those same mistakes, I've learned to become the person that I am today. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, by no means. No one's perfect. But you can't be afraid to fail. You have to fail every now and then to get to what is important in life and get to the good. I think that's really a big problem, is when we fail at one thing, sometimes we often give up. And I think that's why the world's kind of soft nowadays. And I do say this blatantly, the world is really soft because they're afraid to fail at everything. I think I've said this before, but you hear that oftentimes the richest place in the world is not in Beverly Hills. It's not in all these rich neighborhoods. It's not like in law. It's not in the doctor's office. The richest place is in the graveyard. And I've heard this quote before. This is not my quote. But the richest place in the graveyard is because there's so many things that people have failed at, but could have failed again and again to get to success, and they haven't. And if they hadn't failed, I mean, if they hadn't given up or stopped trying, they wouldn't. The world could be a completely different place if those people that are now dead or in the graveyard decided that they weren't going to give up. They weren't going to give up on what they wanted to do. And now, if you're in this position, and you know that you can be doing something differently with your life, if you want to do something, go do it. Don't be afraid of failure. You could fail hundreds of times over and still get what you want to do and be in life. And I just really want to overemphasize that. It scares people to fail, and you don't need to be afraid. And I really just want to say that in the eyes of society, people see failing as that's it. That's the end. You're done. You try one thing, you're not good at it, just quit. Just quit, you know? From my experience, I've had a lot of people throughout high school and throughout football and sports and activities where they're not good at something, but they're gonna quit because they don't want to put in the work or the time to do it. However, I'm not, do not take this the wrong way, I'm not being cocky. When I started out as a track athlete, and I look back at my days as a track athlete, and we used to do all these little drills and these mini hurdles, and there are these little hurdles that you have to jump over each time, and eventually as a freshman you really are terrible at it, and you have to learn to get better at it. But see, I sucked at them, and I wasn't very good at doing stairs with like efficient foot patterns and whatnot. But see, if I had failed, if I had failed and given up, there's no way I would be where I am today. Like, there's no way I would be a football captain, and don't take this as I'm being cocky, but this is honest. There's no way I would still be playing football. There's no way I would be any good at track if I just gave up. There's so many things that people think, oh, that's too hard, it's too hard. But they still want to do it in their head, and they don't, and I don't know why. But, well, I do know why, because they're afraid. But you see, being afraid is part of life. You can't just give up because you're afraid of something. As FDR says, the only thing to fear is fear itself. And I think that is still super major, and we don't hear some of these quotes enough, and we don't look back at our history and see all these things of all these great people that we've come from. We hear about it and we we just look at it and just kind of shrug it off. But a lot of times you aren't listening. Listen to what these people have said. There's reasons that certain people have stuck out in the society, and they haven't given up because they have failed. But with that failure, they have gotten better and learned from their mistakes. And I also think that with this failure can come a ton of hate, but also with failure can come a lot of success. And even with success, there's a lot of hate that comes with it. I know for me, like, no matter what I do, no matter what I say, I've said this before, but I cannot please everybody, and that's whether I'm successful or I make a mistake. The world is not a perfect place, people, and you cannot make everybody happy, and I've come to learn that throughout my high school days and throughout everything else, and no, I'm not the most experienced person in the world. Yes, I am 17 years old, and yes, I'm not an adult or whatever you want to call me, but people forget that not everybody's going to agree with what you do in life, and if you don't try, you'll never know what could happen. For me right now, you know, the night I was sitting and I started this channel, I was sitting down and I was really mad. I don't really remember exactly what it was, but I was super upset, and I knew I'd always wanted to do this. And I wouldn't be, you know, however many videos this is, 19 videos in the future from now, had I not picked up and started. And I kind of want you guys to take this as a motivational note. If there's something you want to do, go and do it. That's it. You just have to sit up and go and do it. Literally, I started this because I turned on a camera and was like, you know what? This could be really bad, and I was super nervous about it, and I freaked out. And I was scared, and I didn't know what to do. But now, I'm here now, and even though my numbers aren't high, that's not why I started this. I didn't start this channel to make money, and I didn't start it for necessarily for the views and whatnot. I started this for me because it's something I've always wanted to do, and something I decided to do. And sure, I'm afraid of failing, I'm afraid of putting out a bad video or whatnot, and sure, I think about that all the time, about failing, and is this video gonna get views, and whatnot this, and I'm like, and then I have to remind myself often that I come to these conclusions and I freak out about stuff, yet I'm doing this whole thing for me, and I'm not being selfish about it. I'm just telling you what it is. Like, I really enjoy doing these videos, and it's super exciting to me, and I freak out sometimes about, you know, views or what's gonna happen. But then my teacher the other day told me that no matter where you are in life, no matter what age, there's always going to be stresses, and you make that choice to decide who you want to be and how you want to do in these stresses. You can choose to quit, you can choose to give up, you can choose to not try anymore, you can choose to lay down and just be done, and let those dreams die in the graveyard with you. However, your life can be so much bigger if you do what you want to do in life. You get a short span here. You get a really short span, and I learned that today really hard. We were watching, it's my second day of my last semester of senior year, and we're watching this video, and I don't even like country, but it's called A Letter to Me by Brad Paisley. And in that, it speaks about, you know, his high school days and whatnot, and it's a letter to himself. And I look at it and I go, wow, I'm already a senior. I cannot believe this. I'm already a senior. And life's going by really quickly. But see, had I given up after my first concussion, my second concussion, or whatnot, I would not be where I am today, and I could be in a whole lot more of a depressed state, but I choose not to be because I can see a dream, and I've heard these quotes, and it gives me inspiration to just keep doing what I'm doing, and I don't give up. You never give up. You never, ever, 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 ever give up. I know it's a super cliche saying, but it's really simple. You never give up. And I met friends and family members and people who have given up, and it sucks. And these people aren't happy, and the reason why is because they have these dreams and goals and aspirations, but a lot of times they don't capitalize on them because they're too afraid to make a mistake. You cannot be too afraid to make a mistake, or your hopes and dreams will die in the graveyard. It's really as simple as that, guys. I would not be where I am today without the thinking that I might fail, but with these failures can come success. Success is not achievable without failure. I do want to apologize real quickly. On my video that said New Year, new ideas, New Year, or something like that. So we basically, in the title, it says our plans for the year, and there's not really any plans. All I really said was I'm super excited. Shout out to Jake for telling me that, to tell people that. But plans for this upcoming time, whatever you guys really want to see. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Keep letting me know what you guys want. If you like this, if you didn't, like, comment, share, subscribe. My merch link is literally right down below in the description. That's about it. Let me know what you guys want, and peace out, Chump fam.